Now that I have been covering quite a few archetypes from V series on how good it is, I thought it would be nice to kind of just go back to D format and kind of just talk about a few decks that I want to really talk about. And this is partially kind of like a request from one of the comments. So Rico Hendrik, thanks for the request. So here is the video about the Chaos update deck list. But I thought it would be interesting to talk about the Chaos himself before we go into the deck list as well, because I think we need to acknowledge on how problematic he is right now. Before we get into the Chaos, I would like you guys to subscribe to my channel and like and share this video, as well ring that bell for upcoming notification, just to help me to reach the 1000 sub goal that I wanted by the end of this year. And for those who already done so far, thank you so much, and without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the grade 1 of the right line, because the grade 0 is actually just a same thing. In the calm state, Chaos has one ability, technically a glitter as well, but technically only one ability. When this unit is drawn upon by Quack Messiah of Solace Chaos, reveal top 2 cards of your deck, put all normal units from among them into your soul, then put the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. In full honesty, I need to admit that this card is actually not bad. Ability to soul charge 2 cards into your soul on just simply a one single ride, and at the same time help you prevent trigger is actually pretty damn good effect until you realize how much card you need to have in soul to actually trigger some of his grade 3 abilities. Quagmire of Soulless Chaos also have only one single playable ability. When this unit is brought upon by approaching Fang Chaos, Soul Charge 1, and if Soul Charge card was a trigger unit, draw a card. And if it was a normal unit, choose one of your cards from your soul, call it to Regard Circle. It's not a bad card at the first glance until you realize that it creates uncertainty for you rather than the opponent, as sometimes you rather have a draw card effect of this card, and sometimes you rather have ability to call a unit to Regard Circle. So the fact that this card only do one of the other thing means that you need to be really know how to adapt to this deck to really pull off the combo that the deck does contain. But all that is a little bit useless when you're considering his grade 3 skill. Approaching Fang Chaos, act once per turn, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, look at top 3 cards of your deck, choose one card among them, put it into your hand, then choose up to one unit card among them, call it to Regard Circle, and then put the rest of the card into your soul. And he also had another ability, Auto Vanguard. When this unit attack or Vanguard, if your soul has 8 or more cards with different names, choose one of your Vanguard and it gets plus 10k until end of turn. If your soul has 13 or more cards with different card names, shoot all of your Vanguard instead, and this card also have glitter. This unit, in all honesty, is actually pretty good. It has a very good resource effect that allow you to get more cards into your soul with different names, and at the same time add certain units that need to be called from hand to your hand. Then its second ability is actually not bad at all, as it does help to boost your Vanguard's capability of hitting. But the biggest problem that this unit does have is the fact that it does need 8 to 13 different units in soul to actually reap the full benefit of this card. However, the problem comes when you look back into the other unit in this right line and you realize that the 2 unit that does provide something for the Chaos doesn't really provide a lot. One actually has a potential to whiff completely, and another has a potential to -1 unique cards from your soul. So the deck is actually kind of play against each other even in the right line, and that's the first I have seen. Disappointed! This actually means that the deck actually forces you to kind of run some of the orders to actually make the deck a little bit more consistent and able to hit the soul very quickly, and that is not something that you want from a deck supposed not to rely on order as much. And does the build up actually worth it? Well, if you look into the glitter card that is currently pairing with the current Chaos, it's actually not too bad. Cool-Headed Executor mechanic has 2 abilities, one which is a common ability and another is a glitter with Chaos. Although when this unit is placed on Regard Circle, cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, choose one of the opponent Regard with the same grade as a card Soul Blast for this card and retire it. Literally just some Buster. Then Glitter Chaos, auto Regard once per turn. When your Vanguard attack, if your soul has 8 or more cards with different card name, stand this unit. If you stand this unit, put into your soul at the end of this turn. Though first effect is kind of situational in the deck like Chaos, its second ability is actually completely made for Chaos deck, being glitter for Chaos, and it is quite a crux of the deck as it allows you to swing to attack with Guanlu effect attached. Yes, this card allows you to take advantage of Guanlu quite fully. Spicy. And the deck does take advantage of it pretty well. Now time to move on to some of the supports that the Kheios does have. This doesn't share Kheios name or anything, but the ability that this unit does have does support the playstyle of Kheios. Starting off with D Kheios Bunny. When it is placed on Graveyard Circle from your hand, if your soul has 8 or more cards with different names, counterblast one and choose one grade 1 or less card from your soul and call it to Graveyard Circle. If you have 10 or more cards with different names, choose a grade 4 or less card instead.
Hey, that's pretty good.
This is actually an amazing card for Kheios, as it does help to loop McMegane very consistently, but this is also very useful in any decks in D format for dark states, as long as they have a lot of souls in their deck, because you can just simply call one card that needed to be used at that moment. Amazing Frost when placed on Graveyard Circle, cost Soul Blast 1, draw a card, choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. Then, if you have 8 or more cards with different name in your soul, plus 5k, and if you have 10 or more cards with different names, plus 10k instead. This is literally just a beefsteak for Kheios deck, and it does help to set up for the Kheios a bit if you do have a duplicate copy of a certain card in your soul, and overall I think this can be run at least 1 or 2 copy of, as it does help to set up for Kheios. But in the other deck, it's actually a pretty decent card. You don't need to care for its later ability, just need to care for its additional draw and ability to set up soul. The last card I want to highlight is Indicate Arrow Dragon. When placed on Graveyard Circle, reveal a top card of your deck, and if your soul have no card with the same name, soul shard 1. Nothing much to say about this card, but other than the fact that it is an amazing setup card, as it helps to just guarantee to put one new card into your soul. Sure, there is a chance to whiff it, but this is at least better than the grade 1 Kheios. Kheios does have a few good things going for him, and one of them is actually a very consistent multi-attack that does utilize Square Loop, something that even McMegane wasn't able to achieve. Kheios also is pretty good at avoiding control decks, as most of its key cards can be removed from the field by putting themselves into the soul, the place where not a lot of deck has ability to access to. But that's the end of the benefit that the deck does bring. The deck does have a few very prominent issues that kind of pull the deck weight down. And the most prominent one is actually the fact that the deck is quite slow and inconsistent. Slow in the fact that you need 13 different cards named in the soul to actually activate the effect, and inconsistent in the fact that the whole deck without the order kind of play against it, because the soul charge consistency is really bad without the order cards. The deck also is very easy to lose temper once you use up your McMegane and your Gwenlu and also your Bunny, all your key pieces, and once you kind of use those up, you became literally a sitting duck, as there's nothing much you can really do in the deck. So is there any way to really fix Kheios? Well, there is one thing, and that is give them more glitter cards that actually fix the issue that the Kheios currently having. With something that can soul charge more with glitter, or something that does help you to get more cards with different name into your soul with the glitter restriction, of course. And I think the deck will improve tremendously. And here is my current Kheios deck list. Well, it's pretty much making sure that you soul charge 13 cards with different name into your soul as much as possible, while still keeping a few copies of the card that I'm gonna use a lot more often, and more than one copy, just so that I can pull into my hand as often as I can. There is not much I can say about the deck, but the fact that the deck does have a really good potential, and I dare say that the deck will definitely get better, as there are more generic and very useful units to be played in the deck itself. But for now, Kheios is just gonna stay in like one of the bottom tier together with Vilista for now, as a deck that can kind of play, but is still not good enough to be very competitive or like can win the games very consistently. And yeah, that's all I have for the Kheios deck. I'm aware that I'm very negative in this video, but it's just that Kheios is so bad right now. But is it really bad for you guys? Do leave down in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself, and this is McMegane signing out.